Well, they are absolutely furious, and of course one reason is because they attached huge importance to this deal. When the contract was first negotiated, and it's worth 56 billion euros, the French government were promoting it as what they called the contract of the century. So you've got French jobs at stake. French engineering companies have made plans and investments assuming that this deal would come off. But it's more than just that. The Indo-Pacific is a region where France is hoping to project diplomatic influence and, to some extent, even military power. So it now feels that the three Anglo-allies have done the dirty on it and they're freezing it out of this strategic region. And as well as just the French foreign minister calling it a stab in the back, we've also heard from the defence minister who says this shows that France's allies are failing to respect their international commitments.
OK, David, thank you. Tig, let me bring you in. Obviously, London trying to put a different spin on all this. Boris Johnson describing the military alliance with France as rock solid. The UK Defence Secretary speaking about this issue. Tell us more.
Hi, Paul. Well, you're right. The UK has been doing its best to pour water on the flames of this new row. Boris Johnson, as you say, telling Parliament today that the military alliance with France is rock solid. And, you know, that claim is certainly, not without foundation. If you park the political antagonism that there is between the two sides post-Brexit, France certainly is one of the UK's strongest, if not the very strongest, military ally within Europe. Boris Johnson was able to point to joint operations that France and the UK have in Mali and in Estonia. They are, the UK and France, both Europe's military leaders. At one point in the not too distant past, they even considered sharing an aircraft carrier. And it is worth pointing out here that the fundamentals of this deal, what we're talking about is America sharing its technology with Australia. It's technology that it already shares with the UK. Now it's spreading that to Australia. If anyone has eaten Paris's lunch here, arguably it is Washington. And there are no guarantees that the UK will benefit economically, even if Boris Johnson said in that big address last night that he hoped that at least some parts of these new submarines will be built here in the UK. Paul?
Tig, thank you. David, let me come back to you. Long term, just picking up what Tig has just said, how could this affect cooperation between France and its traditional allies?
Well, I think Tig was absolutely right, Paul, when he pointed out that France and Britain do cooperate extremely closely in the military sphere. Their armed forces often work very, very closely together. And I think we can expect to see that continue because France and Britain are the only two Western European nations really capable of projecting any significant military power overseas. And so they're basically condemned to work together. Obviously, there are strains in that relationship over Brexit, over migrants crossing the channel from France to Britain. But I think most of the French anger is directed not against the UK, but against Australia and the US, because France says that it's going to demand explanations not just from Australia, but from the US as well.